Aloreing is a comedy folklore podcast where your hosts Kimmy and Ryan discuss the history and sightings of different lore from around the world. We laugh at many parts of these legends, but we would never laugh at the rich cultures that we explore or the cultural significance of the lore we discuss. We encourage additional research on these topics since our focus is on the lore more than the facts. This podcast also contains graphic and explicit content that may not be suitable for young listeners. Listener discretion is advised. Hey everyone, my name is Kimmy, and I'm here with my co-host Ryan.
Hey guys, welcome back to Aloreing, our folklore podcast where we tell you the history and stories of different legends and lore from around the world.
And getting right into it, some quick little baby announcements. We'll get in more detail later. But we were nominated for the 2021 Paranormal Podcast Awards for the category Best Mythology and Folklore Podcast.
Woo! Let's get it.
So vote for us because we were very surprised and very happy and very blessed with the few episodes we have out. So
exciting stuff.
Hell yeah. So you can vote by going to aloreing.com/links, LINKS, and it will be the first button there. And then the other quick thing is we're doing a special promotion right now. If you write an iTunes review, because you love us, and you send us a screenshot of it via DM on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, or you email us at aloreing@gmail.com, I will mail you a random sticker and a Aloreing podcast sticker to say thanks.
Or on Discord.
We should promote our Discord.
We have a Discord, guys. It's great. Join it. Link somewhere on the screen.
We have so many memes you'll see before we post them on social media.
You won't understand them until the episode comes out, but once the episode comes out, they're really funny.
Like the Albuquerque draw 4.
Yeah, exactly.
Draw 25 one.
Yeah, you'll be like, what are they talking about? And then a week later, oh, Kimmy can't say the word Albuquerque.
One time I screw up.
Oh yeah, only the first time.
That's all it takes. That's all it takes around here. Well, do you want to so that's all we got for little baby announcements, but you want to tell me what you found Aloreing this week?
Yeah. So you're not going to believe it, but I went camping again. This time I went to like a beach, like a sandy beach, Sand Hollow for you locals.
Oh, okay.
Very burned, as you may be able to see for our video watchers. I am Santa Claus red, but oh man, was it relaxing. I just floated out, had a great time.
For some reason, I just had the thought of you in a floaty with the big sunglasses, just singing Kumbaya.
I bought a pair of freaking pit vipers, like those giant I don't know if you can see it. The tan line.
Oh my gosh, you have the sun line.
It's rough. It's a rough tan line. But here we are. I'm very relaxed. I'm re-energized. Ready to party.
Welcome back.
Again.
Welcome back to the tech world after being sunburned.
Yeah. I've been camping. I didn't realize how often I go camping until we started doing this what did you find Aloreing thing, and I was like, man, I go a lot. But not complaining. I love it. But
well, tis the season,
True.
That's the thing.
Well, in the Southwest it's always the season. It's great.
That's fair. One day we'll do a camping thing in the canyons near where we're at.
Yeah.
We'll do a whole group thing. I think that would be really fun.
We can get a penguin. That's halfway.
Oh yeah, that was one I was actually looking at. My request is it has to be an actual campsite though. Do not throw me in the dirt. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. So what did you find Aloreing?
My Aloreing thing is we finally got rain because California has been blowing smoke our way like a college dude trying to press a girl at a college party. So that's been lovely. It's not California's fault. It's more like Mother Nature is fucking pissed kind of thing. Is. So it was really weird because like 2 days ago, it was just like smog everywhere. And I saw the red moon of death. And I was like, every horror game has prepared me for this moment. And I was like, it feels so much like Silent Hill. And then the next day, we had a crazy thunderstorm. I was at work, and my boyfriend was at work, and the thunder like shook the building I was in, and then he texted me the same time. He's like, "Wow, thunder just like shook our house." I was like, "Oh,
it's scary."
Pissed. Well, it's crazy because I'm like 15 minutes away, so I was like, that was a big girl, but. So I went outside. Even today, you go outside and you still see the gray skies, the ominous sun. It smells like smoke, but it's raining. So I feel like I'm going to be in a video game any moment. So I've been trying to like wear cuter stuff and have a ponytail on me, so I'm prepared.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's bad down here too with the rain. We're not getting rain, just smoke. I literally can't see the mountains. Like they're just gone. It's really ominous. And I love the mountains, so it makes me sad.
Yeah. Well, don't go be blowing smoke in girls' faces to impress them. Trust me, it does not work.
Nation.
Speaking of smoke, you know what else is kind of wispy like smoke?
I don't know. A transition? Oh.
A transition. A ghost.
What are we talking about this week, Kimmy?
Okay, so a tragic event happened over 150 years ago, and if you are visiting the Himeji Castle in Japan, you may stumble upon the well where it took place. There is a lovely ghost that roams around the castle, and even though there are plenty of suggestions that her soul is now at rest, it's important to remember her story and how she was wrongfully executed. This week, we'll be talking about Okiku, a centuries-old ghost story that emerged during the Edo period that grew in popularity in Japan during the 18th century. Her tragic tale has influenced hundreds of horror films, and we even watch to this day. And I'm excited to tell you all about her lore. So, another spooky one on the way. I don't have my Jesus candle, though. Oh, it's fine.
We're fine.
You're fine. This is how it ends. So, the thing is, there isn't much about Okiku on how she acts or what she looks like. Every story just describes her as a beautiful servant girl that is known to be honest and true. Some descriptions say she has long dark hair, but that's really it. So there's like nothing about like what she looks like. It's just like what you assume in your head at the time period. But when she becomes a yokai, which in Japanese that's like what they call ghosts, she is known to look very pale, wear all white, and have long dark hair that looks wet from the well she came out of. And fun fact, her ghostly form is similar to the character from the movie. What movie? What movie do you think?
I was literally just gonna say that sounds like the Ring Girl, who crawls
Bing,
out
bing,
the well
bing.
like all backwards.
Bing, bing, bing. That's the one. And so the character's name from it was Sadako. I said that wrong. And it's inspired from this spooky ghost story, which I thought was really cool. So
My sister forced me to watch that movie when I was a kid. And the one we had it on DVD, and it came with a second disc. And the second disc said "Do not watch," and it was it was the movie from The Ring, and she made me watch it, and I was so scared.
That's so mean.
Yeah, it was really messed up of her.
That's terrible.
But here I am, 7 days.
The trauma builds character.
Yeah. Now I'm talking
that.
about it on a podcast. Take that.
Suck on that, sister.
Yeah, I'm not going to name drop you for privacy, but take it.
You're so nice. I name drop my fam all the time. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about the history. So, possible origins. The origins of this legend remain unknown. Like any good folklore, we don't really know where it comes from. But the first written mention of it dated back to 1741. And this was under the name Bancho Sarakshasky. I didn't look up the translation of that. So it translates to the dish mansion at Bancho at the Toy Tazik Theater. It is assumed that the legend has been told for years prior, and it grew in popularity specifically during the Edo period in the 18th century. So, popularity of Okiku led to many different adaptations of the legend. During the 18th century, there were many different plays, one-act production, and puppet theaters about Okiku's tragic death and vengeance. The most familiar and popular adaptation, I cannot say that word, adaptation. There it is. Adaptation of this folklore we hear about today was written by Okamoto Kido, which debated I want to take a drink. You guys,
Debuted in February 1916.
Work was long today, you guys. I apologize. Now, where was I? God damn it. Okay. Oh, thank you. Okay. I'm done. February.
Debuted.
In February 1916 at the Hongoza Theater. It was a modern take on the classic ghost tale, diving into the psychological side of the main character's motives. So, in fact, the legend of Okiku is so popular, it's called Niho-san Daikidan, which translates to Japanese Three Great Ghost Stories. Another name for these legends is the San-o Yuri, which translates to the Three Ghosts. Of course, we're just talking about Okiku today, but it's important to know that each of these ghost stories are associated with like a different kind of emotion and moral. So the first one is Oiya, the Yuri of hatred. The second is Otisuyu, the Yuri of love. And finally, the one we'll be discussing today is Okiku, the Yuri of torment, a folktale of uncertain provenance. So we picked the darker of the tales.
Naturally.
And if you are watching on our Patreon and you're seeing our lovely faces and the lovely video, you'll see Himeji Castle. So the legend of Okiku is tragic, and the main plot point is she drowns in a well. Because it's not a ghost story if we don't get a ghost out of it.
Of course.
Naturally, and many believe that this incident took place at the well at Himeji Castle. Though there is no evidence that her tragic death took place here, many people can attest to it being the location of where her ghost dwells. You, fun fact, can even see the well for yourself. If you make a trip to the castle, you can find Oki Idol, the well. I think if you click on the next slide, I think I put a picture of that well in there. There it is. There's the spook.
Is it gated off for a reason?
Yep, it's gated off. Literally, my next paragraph is what's even spookier is the well is now locked up. Some say it's to keep people from jumping in, or worse, from her spirit getting out.
I'd be more worried about this, the ladder. The spirit climbing out.
I'd like to think that she just like calls people. She's like, "Hey, you want to come for a little swim?"
The night keeper lets her out once a day to go on a little jog.
Lets her like go pace around the backyard for a minute, and then comes back inside. Closes the gate. But so since there is no evidence that her tragic tale took place here, many other locations has claimed the well to be where her death took place. So, for example, the Garden of the Canadian embassy in Tokyo, which was established on land bought from the Oyoma family. But since there is no known origin, it seems that the location of Humiji Castle was quick to adopt the legend of their own. So, again, for some reason, when something tragic takes place and people can't pinpoint it, everyone wants to claim it as their own. So
Yeah, how long has
that's
the
kind of what
Canadian
happened.
embassy been there for it to, like, for
I
ancient ghost to? I have a feeling Canada, like, what did it exist when?
I I don't think it may have been like the land was there before. I obviously
That makes maybe they just kind of took over a building that already existed. That would make sense.
yeah, or it could be like the I didn't look. I should have looked more into that since the history is my section of the podcast that I do, but I did not.
Here's what we do: we make it up. Canada
make it up.
has had an embassy in Japan since year one. Crazy. Before either country was named Canada or Tokyo, they had an embassy.
When Pangea was formed, that's when this whole instance took place.
Exactly.
There's Pangea, lush green life, and a well in the middle of it all.
With some Canadians around.
With some Canadians. They popped up like, hey.
Yeah. Hey. Hey, you want to come out of the well, eh?
You want to come out of the well? We love our Canadian listeners. You guys are great. Okay. I think we have like 2 right now. All right.
God save the Queen.
God save Diane, but that's a different discussion for another day.
Anyway.
Protect her. Anyway, don't let what. Too late for that. Never mind. I was like, protect her like we should have protected Okiku.
Okiku.
They both were wrongfully. They both were wronged.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Ugh.
So. Where did that tangent go? We are back to this horrifying nightmare creature. So, the popularity of Okiku had become so widespread during the 18th century, she even took out another spooky form that wasn't just a ghost. During the 18th century, a larva invasion spread amongst the old wells of Japan. These insects became a certain type of caterpillar, I want to say this wrong, Bisa Alexion. Oh, I want to spell it. Byasa space Alcinous, which is known in English as the Chinese windmill. The chrysalis of this butterfly appears to look like a tied-up woman's body due to the larva being covered with thin threads, so it looks all bounded, which is why the locals immediately associated with Okiku's story. The legend of Okiku, she is tied up and tortured above the well before being discarded, so has this similar appearance as this bug, which is eventually nicknamed Okiku Mushi. Due to the similar appearance, everyone referred to this infestation as Okiku's revenge, believing her spirit must have come back as these bugs, spawned by any remaining grudge she had on this planet. And fun fact, the local shopkeepers located around the castle during the Edo period even sold chrysalis of these insects as souvenirs to the tourist who would visit her shrine. So, capitalism at its finest. But I thought that was crazy, that's why I think a lot of, like, I personally believe, and a lot of people believe, she was associated with the castle.
Yeah.
Because of everything that happened. There's even marketing campaigns. So, if that doesn't tell you anything. And then, I think I, skipped over it at one point. But the other cool thing is, if you go to the castle today, they actually have a tour that you can go on. And it has one of them, it has, their version of the story, written on a plaque, too.
Oh, nice. So, is that what the picture, the writing on the well was? I don't know if I can backspace.
Yes. That was the writing. Right here. Well, yep, there it is. So there's, writing on the well. They said there's, a big plaque. I couldn't find it in any tourist images and I couldn't go to Japan because the world's having a
Yeah.
moment right now.
One day we'll go.
One day. But
Aloreing
I thought
worldwide.
that was really cool. The Aloreing bucket list. I want to bring that back.
Yeah.
I want to bring that back so bad. But so in closing, to this day, there are still many retellings of this legend, which all result in different names, locations, surroundings, and details. But the same general outline of the story is always about a beautiful, honest maiden that was lied to and met an untimely, tragic death.
Thanks.
So that is the history of Okiku. And
So, for our listeners, we're trying something new. We realized I'm really bad at the history. Kimmy, I'm not going to say really bad, but Kimmy is not as good at stories. So, from here on out, Kimmy will be taking over the history section, and I will be taking over the story section, where we could dive deeper into a single lore instead of 2 every week. Just a heads up. So we're not done with the Okiku here, but we're going on a quick little commercial break.
So let's tune in to our sponsors on our little handy dandy radio.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Patreons. Did you guys know you're amazing today?
Missed you guys.
That's just for you guys.
Yeah.
Just you.
Don't tell anyone. And we're back.
Welcome back. Hell yeah. Okay, now it's Ryan's turn.
I am going to tell you about the sightings, stories, and lore of the Okiku. Due to the popularity and how long the legend has been around, there are tons of different folk tales of what happened to the Okiku. I'll be telling you 2 different ones today. The first is the most popular one. I found while researching, and there's a few different spins on it. The second is a bit more romanticized, but they're all fairly similar, which makes this one super difficult in knowing its true origins. The first one, I believe to be the most famous version, is called The Story of Bancho Sariashki, the dishmanner at Bancho. I got this. This is why I'm telling the stories. It takes place in the Himeji, present-day Hyogo. There once was a beautiful woman by the name of Okiku who worked as a dishwashing servant at the Himeji castle. She worked for the samurai Ayoma Tasan. It wasn't long till Okiku had caught his eye, and Ayoma was thirsty.
I hate him so much already.
Some lore said he tried to seduce Okiku. Others say he was in love and wanted to marry her. But no matter how he felt, Okiku didn't feel the same way and rejected all of his advances, focusing on her work at the castle. Ayoma did not handle rejection well, unfortunately, and grew impatient, which resulted in him plotting to trick her into being with him. This is always the start of just bad ideas.
Listen, no means no, you guys.
Exactly.
If folklore teaches you anything.
Yeah, honestly. So when she stepped away from her work, he found in the castle set of 10 expensive dishes and hid them one by one. He then summoned Okiku and told her his master was missing one of his 10 dishes, and he must know where it is. Okiku became frightened, knowing that losing one of the Lord's prized dishes was a crime punishable by death. Okiku went into a frenzy and counted the dishes over and over again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. She was always short, 1 plate, and began crying, knowing she had all 10 plates and someone must have stolen or taken it. Ayoma, being manipulative trash, offered to overlook this matter and tell the Lord that it wasn't Okiku who lost the dish. The trade is she would have to become his mistress.
I forgot I put the manipulative trash part in there.
But Okiku was just not that into him. Sorry, bro. And refused him yet again. knowing death was on the line, but also knowing she wasn't responsible for the dish that went missing. Aoma became furious because his quote-unquote perfect plan didn't work out the way he wanted. He ordered his servants to beat Okiku with a wooden sword. What the fuck? That's rude.
I know. He makes me so mad.
Yeah.
This guy. I just like want to punch him so hard.
Beat him up with a non-wooden sword. After that, he tied her up and suspended her over the castle well, where she was sadly tortured by being dunked in the well, only to be pulled out and beat again. Then Aoma demanded her to become his mistress, and when she refused again, maybe because she wasn't in love with the idea of being beaten and drowned, he striked her over the head, knocking her out cold and dumping her lifeless body into the well.
Jesus.
Yeah. Very violent, very fucked up.
Ways not to get a mistress.
Yeah.
Is
Number one. So days passed, and her death was dismissed from the story Aoma told, and it seemed like he easily moved on with his life. But this is a ghost story. After a few days, Okiku's ghost was seen wandering the castle. She became a vengeful spirit who wanted revenge on her murder. So night after night, Okiku would emerge from the well and enter her master's home, searching for the missing dish. Her voice would echo through the walls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
I can't do that.
Then she let out a blood-curdling scream that would shake the castle, unable to find the 10th missing plate. Crying out in agony, unable to find the missing plate and fading away. She did this every night, robbing Aoma of his rest, and the people in the castle who heard the cries of the Okiku became sick. And if someone was unlucky enough to hear her count to 9, they would die shortly after. Because you're number 10.
When the... I wish we could have like the star music. Like,
yeah.
The
more you know.
Right. The more you know. Gross. Okay. I would be like, this is not worth the pay.
Yeah.
Of the
Simply
job.
don't learn how to count and you'll be okay. Finally.
That's fair. If you're illiterate, you'll be fine.
You're like, what's coming after 9?
Or if you're German, and you don't understand.
Yeah,
the
you just think she's saying no.
9.
Yeah. So finally, the Lord of the Castle had enough and knew something had to be done about Okiku's spirit. He called on a priest and asked him to pray for Okiku and exorcise her spirit. The priest went into the garden and waited all night chanting sutras. It wasn't long until Okiku's ghost rose out of the well and began counting her dishes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And before a scream could escape, the priest shouted 10, showing the plate that had been missing. Relieved that someone found the plate, Okiku's spirit felt in peace and was able to rest. As a result, she has not haunted the castle since. So that's all she had to do, was give her the plate.
But he wasn't going to, because it's obviously not the personality of this character.
So there's a couple alternate endings. To stop the nightly hauntings, a friend of the family of Aoma is hired instead of a priest. He's hiding out in the well during the night after Okiku had counted from 1 to 9. He stepped forward shouting loudly 10. So essentially the same thing, friend instead of a priest. Another version of this tale. Oh, he just yells 10.
Yes. He just yells 10, so he doesn't even got to play. He's just waiting. He's just there to justify the woman.
Got you.
That's it. And
He's
she's like, that's 10. All I needed.
And she's like, that's the number.
Yeah, she's like, I knew it. I knew it. She's like, thank you.
Thank you. I could not remember what came after 9.
That was why she was funny.
Yeah. Another version of the tale, Aoma has a wife, and she becomes jealous of Okiku. Okiku still rejects all of Aoma's advances, but his wife believes the only way to get her husband's attention is to kill his beloved maid.
No.
So the wife takes one of the 10 family heirloom plates, breaks one, realizes what she did out of jealousy, and becomes scared and throws the plate in the well. Her husband then confronts her about the missing plate, and she lies, panics, saying it was Okiku who broke the plate. Aoma, becoming enraged at this beautiful plate that was destroyed, kills his maid, throws her lifeless body in the well. And then from there on out, it's essentially the same story. She comes back, counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, killing people. That one's more understandable why she's killing people. She got accused.
I really like that one so far because we've been having a lot of stories about like shitty men in a row, and I just need.
There is a trend going on here on the Aloreing podcast.
I am not going to pick episode topics for a minute because I'll be like, "Ooh, this looks like a beautiful creature."
In this one, she kills men.
About her. every like beautiful female folklore creature, the reason she's beautiful is because she is deadly, and it's always the same plot premise.
Pretty much.
It's always like some guy betrayed her or couldn't take no for an answer. So we're going to start putting cryptids back in.
So the third alternate ending to this story, the same plot where the girl dies tragically, but the main difference is it has way more people involved. So this is the Nino Jurar version. The Lord of Himeji Castle has fallen seriously ill. His heir, Tomosuke, plans to give 10 plates to ensure his succession. Are I don't know the history of plates. Were plates like really expensive back then?
Yeah, so these plates, let me explain. I should have explained that in the history. We're learning with this new format, you guys, so thanks for your patience. The plates are heirlooms, so they've been passed down for generations.
So they're not just like dining plates. They're like gold crusted.
This isn't like
diamond.
Yes.
Shiny.
Yeah. So they've been in the family for centuries. It's like they're very special china. It's what they would use like when they would negotiate with like other like countries and stuff. This isn't like your mom's like Christmas set. Like it's nice,
gotcha.
But it's not.
It's like grandma's Christmas set. That's really nice.
It's like when the mom brings out and you're like her like mother-in-law doesn't like her a lot, so she's like, honey, I got this, and pulls out her fine china.
Really nice plates. Yeah.
She's like, that's cute. You have snowmen on yours? I have classic Santa from all the Coca-Cola commercials. 50 different styles.
Damn.
Yeah. So that's kind of like the comparison. So when the plate's broken, that's why it's punishable by death. Like you can't remake this. Like one and done, you know.
So the Lord had planned to give his 10 plates to ensure his succession. However, chief retainer Asayama plots to take over. Tomosuke's retainer, Takatsune, is engaged to marry Okiku, but Asama wants to use Okiku to murder Tomosuke. Asama, through the help of spies, steals one of the 10 plates and then summons Okiku to his chambers, telling her to bring the container with the plates. He tries to seduce her in hopes of having her team up with him to kill Tomosuke, but Okiku refuses due to her love for her fiancé, Takatsune. Enraged Asayama. I feel like I've said this a million times perfectly fine, and now
it gets like that.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, you'll be reading and you'll just go with it, and then
you'll think about it.
Sometimes you just look at the word and you think about it. Yeah, that's the problem. Enraged,
he has her open the box and accused her of stealing a plate. And if she doesn't become his mistress and does as he requests, then he will tell the Lord. Okiku refuses yet again, and he grows angry and beats her with, again, a wooden sword. Then he binds her over the well, and him being a super creepy dude, like the previous story, kills her, and after she still refuses... Well, let me start over. He binds her over the well, creepy dude, like the previous story, kills her after she still refuses to be with him.
So you know what happens, why he's creepy is like it kind of gets like into like a BDSM thing for
Oh.
a second. That's why he's like creepy and like slimy about it, you know.
Yeah.
And then she's like, "No, obviously you creep."
Yeah.
and
You tied me
he
to
kills
a
her.
well. Yeah. Oh.
Yes, and this is from a play. So what happens is like her spirit comes out of the well, and it ends by them looking at each other and him just looking at her like, "Ooh," you know. So it's like that's where it ends.
Yeah.
Yep, that's it. Sorry,
Interesting. I think I like the original story the best. I think the 1 to 9 counting and then a scream is a lot scarier.
Yeah, that was a play. I think that was like one of the play versions of the tale. So it had more plot, had more characters, a little bit more. What could happen?
Yeah, what could it be?
Conflict. Yeah.
So for my second story, we are telling the story of Akamoto Kido, a forbidden love story. The next one is in Edo in 1655. A vassal of the shogun, Yama Hirama, had fallen in love with a young servant girl by the name of Okiku. Aoma loved her so much, he even rejected a marriage proposal from a wealthy relative, reassuring his love for Okiku. Okiku, however, doesn't believe in Aoma. She knows that the royal family won't take lightly to Aoma marrying a peasant girl, and wants to test his love to see if he will really stay by her side. So Okiku breaks one of the 10 heirloom plates that are treasured by the Aoma household. She knows that breaking one of these plates results in death, and the family is quick to ask for her head. Aoma is first convinced the plate is broken by accident and tells his family to pardon her. The family, being fond of Okiku, believes it was an accident as well and didn't see a reason to take her life. But Okiku comes out and confesses to him that she broke the plate in order to test his love for her. Why?
That's not.
Why
That's not. That's like.
Girl, you were
I don't know.
free. You were in the clear. Ayoma.
It's like, well, think of it like, you know how there's like all those videos of like girls breaking like the PS5s right now?
Yeah.
That's
the same thing.
That's like a good.
This has been going on since 1655, people. Aoma feels betrayed and in a fit of anger kills her, throws her down the well.
Jesus.
After this,
I shouldn't laugh. I'm stuck on the PlayStation. This is terrible. I'm fine. Keep going. It's great. It's okay.
After this tragic death by her lover, Okiku starts to haunt the castle grounds by counting the plates 1 through 9, then disappearing into the night. Then one evening, Oyama decided he needs to help put her spirit to rest. He enters the garden where he runs into Okiku. After seeing her ghostly face, calm and beautiful, with no ounce of vengeance, he realizes what he had done to his true love. Realizing they can still be together, he takes the strength from her ghostly form and commits seppuku, where you go, and then you stab yourself, and then to join her in death. Definitely the most romantic adaptation of the story. This is the most common in Western Japan plays.
Yeah, the romanticized version. I like the romanticized version because I just want a story where the guy isn't.
Yeah, that
awful.
one's a lot nicer.
Like, out of all of them, I've been told, I think this one's way more like wholesome. This isn't as like spooky. This one's like, aw, like love.
Yeah.
But
except for the part where he kills
one,
himself.
Yeah,
that part's not very cool, but I mean, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. You gotta get laid. You gotta get laid. As everyone has. This is what they do for it. No shit.
So these two are just two of many versions of this classic ghost story, and of course there are many more, but it's clear that every different variation of the legend of Okiku results in wrongful death and cruel punishment of a poor girl in the lower class, which results in a haunting spirit seeking revenge, naturally. So remember, if someone isn't into you, Don't go frame them so they're murdered. Don't go killing them just because they admitted they broke a plate. Move on. There's plenty of fish in the sea. I feel everyone just needs to watch a video on consent. That's important. I don't know if you watched the T video in college, but Okiku's clearly did not. Well, not Okiku. Oyoma clearly did not.
College orientation.
That was the weirdest video ever.
That was the best. That was the best thing ever. If I find the link, I will put it in our blog.
Yeah.
I'll
be posted somewhere.
Our college orientation, you guys, they had us like they did their introduction spiel about why our university is great at 6 a.m. when no one cares, but they ended it with a video about consent, and it's the best thing ever.
Very important topic. Very poor video choice.
I thought it was 12 out of 10. Like, you couldn't illustrate it better. It's pretty much like comparing consent to like giving tea to people. Mm-hmm. I will find that video and I will post it because it will change your guys' life.
Well, maybe more people need to watch it. But anyway, before we jump over to our Aloreing alignment chart, we do have some exciting announcements that we mentioned earlier. We're going to mention them again.
Hell yeah, because repetition is key. Ooh. So, super exciting news. Like we said earlier, we were nominated for the 2021 Paranormal Podcast Awards for the category Best Mythology and Folklore Podcast.
Woo!
So, thank you, everyone that has voted for us so far. Voting closes at the end of this month, so August, the end of this month. So if you haven't done so yet, go vote for us today. You can find the website link to vote for us by going to aloreing.com/links, LINKS. Please, 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 please do it. We'll also put a link to it in the episode description for this episode. So just click on it, and then you get to see a bunch of other cool podcasts that talk about like paranormally and ghost stuff too, if you're into that. So that's a pretty cool thing. A little bonus for voting for us because you love us. So that's pretty neat.
And super exciting news. We have a little special promotion going on. If you write a review on the Apple Podcast, iTunes podcast, I don't know what it's called, but you know what I'm talking about.
It's like iTunes, Apple Podcast Store.
Send us a screenshot. And guess what? We're going to send you some stickers. Because who doesn't love some free stickers? You can message us on Instagram. You can add us on Twitter. You can email us at aloreing@gmail.com. You can join the Discord. Talk directly to us. Be like, what's up, Ryan, Kimmy? Here's my review. Maybe we'll chit-chat. Yeah. So get yourself a sticker. Leave a review. And now, back to the Aloreing alignment chart.
Okay. So, I realize I'm bad at this because I always empathize with the creature.
Yep.
And I think what we'll have to start doing is I do what I think and then you do what you think. And
I'm thinking I agree because that is not where I would have put that.
Because I was like, oh, she's a little bit good, a little bit more towards the lawful side.
Well,
like,
what about it is lawful?
Wholly good. Well,
I'm okay with the good side.
Honorable.
That I'm okay with.
Okay.
But she kills people, Kimmy.
Listen. No. Okay, so you can kill someone and be true to your own system of what your belief is. That's what I consider lawful is you follow your rules. You have these rules set and that's lawful. Chaotic means you don't follow any rules. I put her as lawful because 1, hardworking girl, 2, never strays from that, and 3, never goes against the Lord and is very honorable of a person.
But she also counts to 9 and kills people. And you put her in you put her in Gandhi's area.
That is not Gandhi's. First of all,
Okay, well,
I'm
like,
just like a little above.
Yeah, that's
First of all, she is not in Gandhi's area. Gandhi is all the way over there as the beautiful holy being. Okay, like she's obviously not Gandhi. Like,
so
why.
I would have put her a center, lawful, chaotic, little towards the evil, just because she doesn't only kill the dude who killed her. Like she kills anyone who hears her count to 9.
But listen,
in the first story.
Here is my argument. All she needed was someone to justify her of the wrongful death she had. So the moment someone was like 10, she's out.
But what if you're
done.
just like vibing, walking through the castle? You don't know. You don't know who this lady is. You just hear her counting to 9. And you're like, oh, that's nice. She's counting. Boom, dead. Like you just die.
Unless you're German. Listen, there's a lot of like what if parameters.
Yeah.
I'm sticking to my
Right.
little bit good,
I'd
little bit
have
awful.
put mine like right here, more or less. But we'll agree to disagree on this one.
I'm just biased if they're attractive too, so there's also that, and I've learned. Anyway, consent is key.
That's what we learned. That's what the overarching theme of these last couple months has been. It's important.
Which is a great lesson, so someone's got to learn it. And then what's another good point that people can end on?
Stay away from wells.
Oh, yeah, obviously. Okay, consent's key, stay away from wells.
Don't use plates. All right. Stick to paper plates, everybody.
Thanks so much for listening, you guys. This has been Aloreing.
Have an alluring day, and we'll catch you in the next episode.
Bye.